In today's video, I'm going to be showing some calculations I did using Chuni's RELIC calculator, so definitely go check that out if you guys are interested in figuring out what RELIC is better for your unit. And of course, guys, do keep in mind, my calculations could be wrong in this video. I am not the smartest guy. I take 10th grade math, that's it. I'm not like a genius or anything, so do keep in mind, I know this is some simple stuff and I should be able to figure it out, but chances are I may have messed something up. But if I didn't, then the results are going to be pretty shocking for this video. So, I'm going to be going over the miracle timepiece in this video, as well as the clover of the wind. Now, those are the two relics, not the two relics. The clover of the wind is the relic that is used for YUNO, because it has all that magic stuff. The miracle timepiece is used for, pretty much anyone, I believe. How the miracle timepiece works is there is a magic damage percent buff, I believe, on every single clover of the wind. I believe that is the same every single time. But then right below that, you have another damage buff. Now that damage buff, I believe, can be anything. It can be air, it can be dark, it can be light. I believe it can literally be anything. Now, they also have an ability called Final Hour. And for me, it can change depending on your miracle timepiece. I'll show an example here in a second. For my miracle timepiece, every 38.6 seconds, my next magic attack deals 160% extra true damage. Which from what I know, true damage just means it goes through any shields. Anyways, my other miracle timepiece is every 45.2 seconds, the next magic attack deals 89% extra true damage, so it's way worse. So I think I rolled a really good miracle timepiece. Now, my miracle timepiece actually has a 3% magic damage buff, which is pretty bad, but it has a 5.79% air damage buff. So I believe I have all three of the things that work with YUNO. And I believe that my miracle timepiece is going to be better for YUNO than the clover of the wind. Now keep in mind, I'm pretty sure I got a pretty bad clover of the wind. If you guys get a better one, it's possible that your miracle timepiece isn't better. But definitely check it out if you think it may be. Here is how I did the calculations for this video. Now, of course, I could have done something wrong, like I did mention at the start of the video. It's a big disclaimer here. I could have easily done something wrong. But YUNO with clover of the wind has 8,624 DPS, and you can place 4, which means the total DPS with YUNO with clover of the wind is 34,496. Keep in mind, guys, that only applies to, I think, flying enemies, right? Yeah, so that total, the DPS I just mentioned there, and the DPS in all of this video, is going to be applying to flying enemies, okay? It does have regular damage buff, but I'm not going over that right now. That's a little bit more complicated. So, that is for flying enemies right there. And then, for YUNO with the miracle timepiece, I'm going to click on it real quick so I can view it. You can see here, YUNO with the miracle timepiece has 8,180 DPS, which means 32,720 total DPS. Now, of course, that is less, okay, in case you didn't already know, but the final hour does change this a good bit. So, my YUNO with Clover of the Wind does 332,886 damage in 38.6 seconds. You wonder why 38.6? It's because that's when my final hour pops. So I'm checking how much the damage they do right before the final hour pops, or like as it pops. And so basically, like I just mentioned, 332,886 damage within 38.6 seconds. My YUNO with the miracle timepiece is doing 315,748 damage in 38.6 seconds. So the same time right before the final hour pops, which means that is 17,138 damage less. But when the YUNO with the miracle timepiece actually activates the final hour, we are dealing 158,270 damage that one attack. So that means in 38.6 seconds, my YUNO with Clover of the Wind is dealing 332,886 damage in the 38.6 second time span. My YUNO with the miracle timepiece is total damage in 38.7, 38.6, whichever you want to use. I don't know if it pops at that time or like a split second after. Is 474,000 damage in 18, which means that is 141,132 more damage than Clover of the Wind. So in this instance, as long as I did all my calculations correct, I actually took screenshots, so I'll show them on screen of Chuni's RELIC calculator when I was entering stuff. If I did something wrong, feel free to let me know down below. But of course, I could have done something wrong, like I mentioned. Do keep in mind, guys, this is another pretty big part. My miracle timepiece is only 5.79% air damage, which means that the other 3% and 160% are dealing to any enemy. the 5.79% in the Miracle Timepiece is dealing only to air units. In the Clover of the Wind, the 11%, the big part of the Clover of the Wind that makes it good, the 11% only goes against flying enemies, okay? Which means I think even against grounds, the Miracle Timepiece is better. I'm not going to calculate that right now, but I'm pretty sure about that. So that does mean for me, and possibly you guys, if you want to check this out, feel free to do the calculations on your own. Like I mentioned, I could have done my calculations wrong. If I did, I apologize. But that means for me, guys, the Miracle Timepiece is actually better than the Clover of the Wind. Now, of course, it is because I got a really good roll on my Miracle Timepiece. I'm going to keep getting more Miracle Timepieces to see if I could get a good one for my Asta or Yami. So far, I haven't gotten anything good for it. I've gotten lightning damage and air damage, which neither of those work really well with who I'm using. I think I'm going to use the air damage one, I'm going to use the lightning damage one on my Urza. I can't think of literally anyone else I know that has lightning, so I don't know who else I would use it on. Anyways, I hope you guys did enjoy this video. If you did, consider leaving a like and subscribing. I'll be back to challenge content soon, so if you guys have any challenge ideas, leave them down below, or you guys can join my Discord server, leave them there. Of course, I have both my Discord servers linked down below in the description, one for leaderboard runs and one just my regular Discord server. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, consider leaving a like and subscribing, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.